Hi guys, my name is Kayla and today I'm going to be talking about the movie The Dreamers. Okay, so let's start. Great. By the title of this video you can tell that when I went to go start watching The Dreamers, I thought it was a wholesome, dark academia film. I was wrong. Those of you who have seen it know what I'm talking about. It was nothing like what I expected, and I'm disappointed in myself. So, thoughts going into it, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't read what it was about because I just assumed it was like, a wholesome dark academia movie. I don't know. I didn't want to read what it was about before going into it. And so basically it is about this American exchange student he's 20 years old, his name is Matthew, and he's going to study abroad in Paris. And he's like this film buff. And so he's studying in Paris and he meets these Siamese twins named Isabel and Teo. And they're film buffs too, and so they bond, and he's like, OMG, like, Mom, Dad, I finally found my first friends. It is 1968, and yeah, so basically there's political unrest happening in Paris at this point. There was like a teacher that was like wrongfully fired or something, and so there's like protests and riots and all of this happening. And while this is happening, you have their story. So basically, the Matthew, Teo, and Isabel, it's Isabel, I think. Okay, so it's Isabel, meet, and 2 days after meeting, Isabel and Teo invite Matthew over for dinner with their parents because their parents are about to leave for a month, and so this is like their last dinner together. And so they invite him over, and he says yes. And so that night they ask him to spend the night, and he's like, sure. Like 2 days after meeting. So they wake up the next morning, and the night before was his first red flag. Okay, so he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he's going to look around or something, and there's like a cracked door, and he opens it, and Teo and Isabella are laying in a bed together naked. So that should have been his first red flag. And then they wake up the next morning and they're in the bathroom like brushing their teeth, and then all of a sudden Teo like gets naked to take a bath, and he's like, how do you speak? Bonjour. Since our parents are going out of town, you can stay with us for a month instead of staying in the hotel that you're staying at. You've known each other for 2 days. And he says yes. So that's how this movie starts. And there's just a lot of stuff that happens during it that is very, stuff that I will not talk about on my channel. At this point in the movie, I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I can't even finish this movie. But I was like, well, if I finish watching it, I can post a video about it on my YouTube channel. So I did. I actually did not watch the last 13 minutes of it, but I did look up what happens. I couldn't bear to watch it anymore, so I can't watch anymore. I can't. Basically, Isabel and Teo's dad is like a famous writer. He's like a poet, and so they live in this like really big apartment in Paris. And so I think the reason that the movie is called The Dreamers is because with all this political unrest and rioting and protesting going on outside of the apartment, they're living in kind of like a dreamlike state in the apartment for a month, and so they kind of ignore everything that's happening outside. And so like at one point Matthew calls Teo like a hypocrite, And because he's like, you talk about how you don't like violence and you're against the war and all this, this and that, but you're not doing anything about it. You're not going out and protesting. You're not going out and rioting. You're not doing anything. You're sitting in this apartment and ignoring everything else that's happening outside. So then there's like a scene where, obviously the reason I thought this was a dark academia film was because of this scene. We've all seen it on Pinterest, the pictures of the 3 kids running through the Louvre, and that is this movie. And I thought, you know, eventually, like, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on in the apartment because they're film buffs. They go around acting out scenes from movies and they try to make each other guess what scene they're acting out, and if you can't guess it, you have to like pay the price and do like a dare that the other person tells you to do. And so here is a reaction clip to one of the dares. I was gagging, it was bad, so let me insert that right here. So I did not like this movie. I'll tell you my rating at the end, and the only reason that the rating is that high is because of the dark academia aspect. I did not like the, it was just like, it was, so during the month that they're living there, they like run out of food at one point, and so then they go dumpster diving for food. And so like you assume that they've run out of money for food, but then in one of the scenes after that they go to a cafe, and I'm like, why did you go dumpster diving if you had money to go to a cafe? I was so confused. So yeah, and in the movie, there at one point, one of the dares that happens because of someone doesn't guess what the movie is when like Teo acts it out. Teo dares Matthew to take his twin sister's virginity. And he does on their kitchen floor with Teo in the kitchen, just like cooking up some eggs. So here's my reaction video to that.
No.
So yeah, so at that point in time, after they, you know, do it, they start consistently doing it. They like fall in love, and so the 3 of them like take baths together. They walk around the house naked, and the twins are just really close. It's very odd. And so at one point, Isabel and Matthew are laying in bed together, and he asks her, he's like, what would you do if your parents ever found out about like how you and Teo act with each other? And she's thinking about it, and then she says, I would kill myself. And at that moment you can see that she knows that what they do is wrong, but she makes no effort to stop. I think Matthew kind of like realizes that in that moment. So that was like a big thing. And so then they keep on. I'm gonna enter in some more reaction videos right here. So I think this movie does have some, I would kind of consider it dark academia. It has dark academia aspects, like the political unrest happening, the whole film buff thing, their father being a poet, the Louvre, running through the Louvre, like think all of that is part of the dark academia aspect, but it's not wholesome. Just like Kill Your Darlings is a dark academia movie, and it's a really good dark academia movie, but it's not wholesome. You know, I might make a video for Kill Your Darlings because that's a really good movie. I was just thinking about the movie the other day. Okay, so the movie ends with they decide to finally like join the protesting and join the riots, and Matthew, being his pacifistic self, is like, please, like, don't do it, like, violence isn't the answer, blah 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 blah, and they ignore him and go in and throw something into like the police crowd, and then like the police like attack, and then it like the movie ends with like the police like, you know, I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah. And so I think I read somewhere that like the film was like about the director, and like the director was Matthew, and then he went on to like make the film about them. So I don't know if that's actually true or not, but yeah. So this movie, it was okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't terrible. It was pretty bad, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't good. I'd give it like a 4. And the only reason I'm giving it a 4 is because the dark academia aspect, I really liked that. I don't know, I really didn't like a lot of like, I'm not gonna spoil some of the things that happened during it because this is a very mature movie. And you need to watch it for yourself if you're gonna watch it. I can't talk about it on my channel. I don't want to talk about it. You have to watch it. But yeah, but then you realize, you think that like you do bad things, and then you watch the movie and you're like, well, I guess I could be doing worse things compared to like this. So yeah, I give it a 4. Total 4. So all of my socials will be linked down below. I have decided, last week I decided that I was going to start posting on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So this video will be up on Monday, and then I'll have 2 more videos for this week. So stay on the lookout for those. My Wattpad book, Unmated, is an El Real fan fiction. I'm going to be updating that on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as well. So that link will also be in the description. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts, and then subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Toodles!